and welcome back to Let's Try It. If you haven't seen my previous videos and you don't know what this is all about, basically I'm just trying recipes that I find. And today we're going to try a sweet potato soup recipe. So this recipe I found actually over a year ago. There's been some adjustments in the ingredients from myself, and I wanted to try it on here. I think it has some unexpected ingredients that you wouldn't think go in a soup, but I think it's really fun, and it also is a great recipe for the colder months. So today the ingredients that I'll be using are 2 small to medium sized onions. They're about maybe less than a pound of carrots. The original recipe calls for a pound of carrots. Then I have 1 very large sweet potato. So I think in the original recipe, it was a couple of sweet potatoes, but this one is pretty large, so I think that'll do. Then I have some salt. Cinnamon is not in the original recipe that I found online. There's also honey. An apple, which is a Fuji apple. Any apple that's sweet is going to do. Some ground pepper, curry powder, and of course we can't do without a little bit of butter. Here, that's about like 4 tablespoons of it, so that should be good. So I have placed some butter into my little sauce pan, or I guess it's like a Dutch oven type of thing. So I'm gonna add the onions in to saute for a few minutes. Okay, so I'm adding them in. So I added the onions in. We're gonna saute them for a few minutes until they're a bit golden brown. Pardon the interruption. I wanted to tell you all about something. So listen up. If you are wondering what heat onions should be cooked at and why, butter has a lower smoke point than oil. If just cooking with butter, then use a low to medium heat to prevent onions from burning on the outside. Onions have natural sugars that with time and heat will break down to make them soft, browned, and tasty. Onions are golden brown. Now it's kind of hard to see because the camera's fogging up, but I'm gonna add the curry powder in now, about 1 tablespoon. After the curry powder and onions were all mixed together and sauteed to the right color of more brownish, and everything was tender enough, I added some water and then the other vegetables into the pot to cook for about 20 minutes. Then once they're tender enough, I will go ahead and add the Fuji apple. So my vegetables are all tender, so I'm gonna add the Fuji apples that were chopped up. This is about half a teaspoon of salt. And we're also gonna add some pepper to add a little bit of heat. Okay, so we add all that in, and then I'm going to take a spoon real quick, about 2 tablespoons of honey. So that should make it a little bit sweeter, I guess. So you got the sweet and the heat. I've taken the soup off the heat and left it to cool for a little bit. And now I'm putting in the immersion blender to blend the soup. I want to get it nice and creamy. You can also add heavy cream if you like. I didn't do that this time. I've already used butter for the onions before. You can use an actual blender, but yes, of course you would want to cool the soup off enough before you throw it in the blender, especially if it's not one of those blenders that can handle really hot soup. Anyways, in the next part, we're going to try the soup. So I hope you stayed for that. I am finally here with what is a plate of soup ready to be tasted. And I just want to show you, because earlier it wasn't looking as creamy or maybe a consistency that you would like. I mean, of course you can make it thicker if you really do want a more thicker soup, but I think this is good. You know, you could put crackers in it and stuff. So let me taste it. This tastes great. It has a little kick to it because of all the little spices, the cinnamon, the pepper, the curry powder. It's just so great. I love it. I think I'm gonna stay warm and cozy up because it is definitely cold outside.